I never even managed to go to Canyon. The Formula One Esports China series, the prize pool back then was around $350,000.
Did you win?
Yeah, I won the series.
Wow. What you're saying is this is self-made. What was your first lap time at Buttonwillow? Now you're at 152.
The car itself is a complete package, so the rest is down to the driver. I would still prefer to start from sim.
I'm here with Ken Sheng. All right, Ken. Behind us is a very, very cool car. Before we get into the car, as always, let's talk about how you got into, first of all, cars, and then how you got into tracking.
I started reading a magazine called Car and Driver back in 2009, and at the time they were doing like a monthly update on Formula One race, and that's how it got me into Formula One. So I watched the first full season from 2009 until 2015. So I watched pretty much the second half of the V8 era of Formula One and the beginning of the hybrid era. That's how it got me into like cars and the racing. I got this car after the esports series I won back in 2021, and at the time I figured maybe sim is just not enough for me to improve my driving standard and my racecraft. So I figured just try to do something in real life. 2022, there was an opportunity for the car, and at the time the price tag was very attractive, at least for me. So I figured, yeah, give it a try, and here we are.
Awesome. So did you have a car before this?
I have a family car, but I never even managed to go to a Canyon. So
Really?
yeah, never.
So you were just doing sims?
Yes, just sims.
And then you were feeling the urge to actually try it in real life?
Yeah, I started the sim in 2018 when I saw there was people post on Reddit about a league racing on Formula One games, and that's how it got me into the driving.
Okay.
Yeah. Back then I was only like a viewer.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of sim were you playing?
So mostly I do Formula One games. So from Formula One 2018 to F1 23.
When you got into this car, well, obviously that helped, right? Greatly. But did you feel like it was what you were expecting?
Yes or no. So at the beginning, because I never had any prior experience, so for a car with like 500 horsepower on the crank, that's definitely very hard for me to handle it at first. Because like if I give a lot of throttle, either I trigger the traction control when it's on, or it's just the rear gonna kick out and I lose the car. At first, actually, because I struggled, not because I don't understand the driving techniques, but more because I never experienced G-force in a car. Because on sim we don't have G-force.
Right.
In real life, it's a totally different beast.
Right.
Yeah.
The G-force you feel on your body is an indication that you just cannot feel in a simulation, right?
For serious competitive sim racing, we don't have any G-force. It's basically people sitting in a rig and yeah, and that's it.
Well, they do have that moving thing,
yeah,
right?
Motion platforms, they are more for like give like a experience, like a test drive on the sim. But if people who want to seriously compete in the sim, they want to be fixed in their seat. So it's like they use the bucket seat to fix their body. They can be driving more precisely without any body movement.
And focused, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So why Corvette? I mean, obviously it's a great car. I would assume you were into F1, that's why you chose mid-engine.
At first, there were 3 cars I interested: the 911 Carrera, the Cayman GT4, either the 981 or the 718 GT4, and the C8. Okay. So I test drive all of them. The C8 is probably the most comfortable car for daily driving. So that definitely gave me a better impression compared to the other like stiffer options. Also, because the C8 is, because my background, C8 is actually a first experience for me to drive a very powerful naturally aspirated engine. So I figure if I have the opportunity to try the car, why not try it now before like everything goes into electric and I lose the opportunity.
Good. And I spoke to you briefly off camera. You're studying here in UCLA, electrical engineering. You just graduated and then you're pursuing graduate degree?
Because I won the esports series back in 2021, and a lot of the money from the prize earned went into this car.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, the Formula One esports China series, the prize pool back then was around $350,000.
Wow.
So for the first place, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of money for it.
Did you win?
Yeah, I won the series.
Wow. You were actually competing in pro level.
It's kind of like yes or no. So yes, the series itself is very competitive. It's more like if you follow like esports, it's more like a major region and a minor region difference. So in Europe, the competitiveness is like one step further.
Okay.
And also at the time, I had the opportunity to maybe compete in Europe, but I figure if my goal is to earn a title and also some prize pool money, maybe competing in China can bring me more like chance to get what I want. So I figure, yeah.
Okay.
That's how it ended up.
So what you're saying is this is self-made.
Mostly, yeah, mostly
self-made. Wow, that's amazing. Tell me about your first track day.
So I first tracked the car back in January 2023, and it was a rainy day, I believe. So my first instructor was actually Adam Xia.
He's a colleague of mine. Yeah,
He is. I think he helped me at least like 3 or 4 times, like at the track, and that definitely gave me the mojo of the driving.
Your first track day was Buttonwillow too?
Streets of Willow.
Streets of Willow. What was your first lap time at Buttonwillow?
So first time I was on pretty much stock, and the camber was like 2.5 for the front and 2 for the rear, and I was doing like 157, 158.
Wow.
Ish. Yeah.
That was first time.
Yeah, first time. Yeah, that was like probably my 7 or 8th time at the track.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. Wow, 157. Okay. And now you're at 152, and that's not a Z06, guys. This is a Stingray non-Z06 Z51 package. That's pretty incredible, I think. What are some of the other guys with similar modification running right now?
So I know a friend of mine, Dustin, and he has a very similar package like my car. And I think last time he did 155 at Buttonwillow.
55?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fast too. But I mean, Dustin is probably getting used to the car.
Yeah.
And we also have Bennett, who I interviewed. What's Bennett doing now?
So Bennett, last time I saw him, he was doing 154.
Well, now that you've done 52, I'm sure Bennett's gonna watch this for sure, and then Bennett's gonna try to do, outdo you.
Yeah,
probably.
He told me he's planning to get the Supercar 3R at Buttonwillow,
okay.
And I definitely have faith in him to get into sub 50.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's an amazing driver too. So, all right. Well, with that said, let's show the car. What's been done to the car?
So at first I touched on the brakes, so the rotor and pads. The first pad I ever had was a Carbotech XP20, and I tracked about probably 4 of them. And later last year I realized the braking, I still suffer a little bit like the final bite towards the end of the session. So I went with Carbotech XP24, which is a more durable, more endurance pad. The rotor-wise, I use the gyro disc rotor, probably one of the best option in the market, and XP20 at the rear. 20
at the rear.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
On the craft forum, there's people saying the 24 might be too aggressive, but I found out it's actually okay to drive it.
Okay.
Yeah. You just need a little bit longer to warm it up, but I think for the weight of the car, the first 5 to 8 minutes of a 20-minute session, it should be ready by the middle point of it.
What kind of tires are those?
So they are Falcon RT660. It was actually my first time driving them. What was the owner name of TPM Motorsports?
Mike?
I actually talked to Mike before. At that time, he recommended me to try the Goodyear Supercar 3.
Right.
Not the 3R, the 220 travel tire. That tire felt amazing because my rear, the side of the wheel is 19 by 12, so very limited option for me to find a tire that's like for track. And now, like aggressive as the Hoosier like slick tires.
Right.
I prefer to still run like 200 travel tires. The options are Supercar 3, Continental Extreme Contact Force, believe Yokohama 8009, and then it will be the Falcon RT 660.
Yeah. So you PB'd on the Falcons?
Yes.
Okay.
But I know for the fact of its natural grip, if Nan can somehow get their patch early this year, I might be able to set a faster lap time on the Nankins. Yeah.
What size are the wheels in the front and rear?
Front is 18 by 10, I think ET42. The rear is 19 by 12, ET50.
19 by 12. Okay. And you're running 275 in the front?
Yeah, 275, 35, 18, and 315, 30, 19 for the rear.
Okay.
Yep.
Those brakes are massive too in the back. Are those gyro disc as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the rear, because the brake bias is very heavy forward.
Oh.
So the rear is, you can see the pattern on the ring. The rear it looks a lot like cleaner than the front because of the brake bias of the car.
What about suspension? What's been done to it?
So I have the Hyperco lower spring, and they claim to be 20% stiffer, but on the track, the wiggle and in the corner, I still feel the same. But in fact, when the car is under braking, the dip at the front definitely improve a lot. And because the suspension travel has been limited by the spring, and I think that's the benefit of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, this does not have the mag ride?
No mag ride.
Okay, so do you plan on going full coilover or mag ride, or what's the deal?
So people have been recommending me to try the MCS, so maybe the MCS or the KW Club Sport.
Okay. Right now you're running a spec racing, right?
It's Time Attack series by Wellwood, Corvette Challenge, hosted by Speedventure.
I'm guessing that's why you don't have aftermarket coilovers?
Yeah, exactly. Because there's a chassis point system in their series, and my C8, the base point is 120. Just adding the ATR rear wing, the GT500 rear wing, it gives me 50 points. And so I'm on the very top edge of the modified class. For that reason, I also took the canards off at the front when I had it before, just to make me satisfy the regulation.
The canards are plastic, right?
They are carbon fiber made by Virus.
Oh.
Yeah.
So other than that, this car is pretty much stock, right?
Yeah.
All right.
The wing gives the impression of the car has been heavily modified,
right?
But in reality, it's not.
So you have lowering springs, tires, wheels, brake rotor, brake pads, and the APR wing.
And that's it.
That's it. That's pretty incredible.
The car itself is a complete package, so the rest is down to the driver, how I can improve.
Yeah.
Yeah, that matters more.
Yeah. Of course, you got the excuse, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to collect more stickers. My goal is to complete the whole back window with all the track I've been to.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a GTC 500, and so the wing is mounted on the trunk, not on the rear bumper. So the trunk, the under part of the trunk is made by fiberglass, pretty hard to drill through it. But I think the wing itself is very solid, mounted on the car. No wiggle, no like movement in high speed. It just because the weight of the wing, I still have the stock strut. It wouldn't hold the weight of it.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
So I'm self-made a wood stick just to hold the weight of the trunk.
Wow. How much power does this engine make?
So on the crank it's about 490, but on the wheel it's approximately around 430 to 440 each.
Okay.
Yeah.
440. Wow. And how much does the car weigh?
The curb weight is probably 3,750.
3,700.
Yeah.
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 So 4,000 pounds with the driver.
Yep.
Can we put the stick on real
Yep.
quick? I want to talk about what you mentioned.
Yep.
You mentioned that this car is very similar to other European mid-engine car, and you wanted to talk about the trunk.
By design, the previous Corvette, they all have a trunk because the engine sits at the front. So this is the first time they move the engine at the middle of the car, sit behind the driver. And they also want to make the C8 more of a weekend car. It's like a car, the trunk that can fit a full golf package. This trunk definitely can fulfill that purpose, but the problem is they make the car a lot longer and wider, and just this area gives a lot of extra weight for a car, which I think in future, if any audience is a GM engineer, maybe give the more extreme model option to get rid of the trunk to save some extra weight.
So yeah, it looks like the shock tower is over here,
Yep.
and all this stuff is just for cargo.
Yep. The front trunk, the space is very spacious. So I figure why not just get rid of the trunk and
It already handles pretty amazing.
yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah,
It's just like ideally, I expect it to be one step further.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like a
Yeah, it's
cool
a
little feature. Huh?
yeah, it's a hidden switch on the under the highlights.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you see like
You got the helmet.
I got the helmet and the clothing and
Yeah.
the air compressor and and shout out to the Social Car Driver Club. I still have the T-shirt. Yeah, the front is very spacious. I usually use it for grocery when I have to get them with a car, and it's definitely enough. And I think it's a little bit like bigger than the 911 Carrera. Yeah. And thanks for the sticker.
It's very stock.
So this is the GT2 seat. So it's the seat in the middle of the options. The GT3 is more bucket seat like. I hug the driver better. And I think if someone want to seriously consider buying a C8, I recommend them to get the GT3 seat, which still very comfortable for day driving.
This is an optional seat then.
I think this come with this trim level. So
Okay.
this is a 3LT.
3LT. Okay.
So the leather and the seat, I think it's the one they gave it on standard. And the GT3 is like an optional seat for people to buy it.
It's very nice. There it is, guys. Yeah, no need to modify anymore. You just go to the Chevy dealer and pick one of these up.
It's a complete platform.
Complete platform.
Yeah.
There we go. You talked about camber setting. What camber settings work best for you?
Depends on the track. So if I go to a straight or velo, the front I already maxed out at 3.1. The rear, I believe it can get up to 2.6. Right now I'm at 2.4 just to balance out because sometimes I go to Chakwa or Big Willow, and definitely those two tracks don't need as much camber as the straight or Willow or bottom Willow.
I'm just gonna ask random questions.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets buying this car?
Oh, that's a tough question. Daily wise, probably the best car. C8 still makes sense for me, and it's probably the best option.
If you were to sell this car and you have to buy something else, what would it be?
At the moment, I'm interested in the Hyundai Elantra N. It's capable for daily. It's also a killer on track. Yeah.
Front wheel drive versus rear wheel drive.
I think for beginners, it will be very beneficial for them to drive the front wheel drive car first.
If money wasn't an object, what would you buy?
Probably start from a GT4 Club Sport.
Okay.
Like maybe not just the Porsche GT4, but also like other brands. Yeah.
Sim racing versus real driving.
Sim racing is more of a repeating process than real life driving. So on the sim, I can just restart it like with a click or two. But in real life, if I didn't manage to get a lap in, probably will be different. So the practice environment, the tolerance of making mistakes is totally different. I would still prefer to start from sim. The punishment of making mistakes is not as severe as real life. So I think people who drive in real life only, they will have for long-term wise, they will have a better bottleneck for the peak of their driving in future. But that's just my own opinion.
What's next for you with this car?
Coilover.
Coilover.
And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Any final thing you want to say?
Thank you for interviewing me today at first. Many people start to realize how good the C8 the platform is. And I wish I can see more people tracking them seriously in future. And yeah, let's make friends with them.
All right, well, thank you for your time. All right, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you at the next one.